The Power of Habit. Book by Charles Duhigg. Chapter 2. The Golden Rule of Habit Change. Morning and afternoon routines become an essential part of your life as you work your daily grind. For instance, you may have a specific coffee shop that you frequent every morning to get your daily caffeine fix. Maybe you have a routine of stopping by the gym every day after work. These routines eventually become habits, and while these habits are harmless and actually healthy, it shows just how easy it is to adopt unhealthy habits as well. Perhaps instead of stopping by that morning coffee shop, you stop by that morning McDonald's and instead of ordering coffee, you order a sugary sweet tea and a sausage and egg biscuit. Once you realize you might be putting on weight due to your morning McDonald's fix, you'll see how increasingly hard it becomes to drive past your usual spot without stopping. You might find yourself stopping just this last time, or driving past and becoming grumpy for the rest of the day. Kicking a bad habit is hard because of the craving you develop for the reward at the end of the habit loop. Each morning you crave that rush of sugar as you sip that sweet tea and that savory sausage biscuit that sticks to your gut. So to conquer bad habits, the habit loop must be adapted. Duhigg discusses the case of Ray, the owner of Sea on the Range, a surf and turf restaurant. What was once a successful business is now a dwindling business because of the habits of Ray and his employees. Working close to 80 hours a week, Ray has picked up a drinking habit where he indulges in a double whiskey at the end of a long day to take the edge off. While he's not an alcoholic, he finds himself craving his drink earlier and earlier in the day. Sometimes he even indulges in a cold beer before the end of the day. His drinking habit has begun to affect not only his patients but also his profits. When Ray indulges in a drink or two, he finds himself becoming less and less patient with his employees who tend to ignore customers looking for a drink refill. His short fuse has caused Ray to scream at employees in front of customers and has contributed to his inability to keep good workers. It's clear that Ray needs to change his habits to turn his business around. An essential part of changing your habit is identifying each element of the habit loop. For instance, Ray was able to specify the cue, which was the end of a stressful day. The craving became the burn of the whiskey, the routine was sipping his double whiskey, and the reward was the relaxation he felt after indulging in his drink. This leads to what Duhigg considers the golden rule of habit change. Don't change the cue or reward, change the routine. The craving then must also change. Just a small change in the habit loop can have a life-changing impact. So, how can Ray change his routine to stop his drinking habit? Well, Ray is one of the lucky ones to own a $25,000 pool in his backyard. So instead of craving the burn of the whiskey, Ray can begin to crave the smell of chlorine and the feeling of the water washing away the sweat of a long day. Replace his sips of whiskey with laps in the pool and Ray can replace his drinking habit with swimming after a long day of work. This is why programs like Alcoholics Anonymous are so successful. Rather than relieving stress at the bar, participants relieve their stress by attending meetings and venting or commiserating with other members of the program. However, simply replacing a routine might not be enough. Duhigg advises people like Ray to focus on nurturing his new craving. If we dwell on the cravings that drive our routines, it will be easier to maintain our habits.